Alright, let's give this a try. Now that Tessello suggested me this very advanced technology, I can finally record some videos. Okay, so this is a match against Silviawataru, which is one of the best Delver players on the platform. And I saw his list. I know he's probably on blue-racked Cory Cutter. And this hand is fine. It's not great, but it has access to the combo as long as this crop rot resolves, and which is what you want against Delver type decks. And it also has a Mox, and hands with acceleration are your best hands generally, especially Mox, so we'll be keeping this one. And we'll be hoping to draw some type of action like Saga or Thespian Stage. Okay, so he's on the play. He starts with a Dragon's Rage. On my turn, I think the choice here is pretty clear. We have the option of playing around days, so that's what we do. I play the Wasteland, Mox Diamond, and play the Exploration while he has no island for a days up. Okay, so I draw Saga, and that's a pretty clear. Now I'm already threatening the combo. Now it's an interesting spot. He plays a Cory Cutter. So what we should do here is we want to crop rot while the cutter is on the stack, because then if he counters, he will have played his second spell while the cutter is on the stack, and he will not get a token. So I go for it here. He could have a force, but that's fine. We still have a Saga and everything. He does not have a force here, but he has a daze just to prevent me from doing Merit Lage for a turn. It's okay. I pay, and I get a Thespian Stage. Now I have a really good draw, because this means I can go for the Merit Lage and not be afraid of Petty Theft. And that's why I do it on my turn, because otherwise he could top deck a Wasteland. I'm still not entirely clear, because maybe he can chump block and then Petty Theft me a few turns later. But now it's just winning, because I can get an Expedition map for a Sigiri Step, or in this case an Echoing Deeps for the Sigiri Step that is in my graveyard. In this scenario, Wasteland would also be fine, it would also win the game, but there are plenty of scenarios where you need specifically Sigiri Step, which is why it's a good card in the Delver matchup. Okay, so we drew pretty well. We won game 1. Let's go to game 2. Sideboard. Since he's not on Delver, Twin Shot Sniper is really not as good, especially on the draw, because you're only hitting DRC and it can grow out of range pretty quickly. So I just decide to put an Endurance in, and that's it. Nothing else. This game will have some interesting moments as well, so let's go through them. It starts with a Tamio, and now I have an option here. I can do the Mox Diamond Tabernacle trick. That is, I play Mox Diamond then into a daze, and if he dazes, well, I can Tabernacle and get rid of his Tamio. I decide that's worth it. That's more worth it than playing around daze, even though I have no green source, because Tamio is a really annoying card and you will want to try and get rid of it. He discarded Bujuka Bog. I still try to get him to daze, but he probably doesn't have a daze at this point. And now I think this is a mistake, playing this Tabernacle. And the reason is he cracked a bubble on my turn, so he will be getting a draw from the bubble on his turn, plus the natural draw. That means he only has to play a Ponder or anything and he can flip this Tamio. So while I'm delaying him a little bit, and I'm kind of forcing him to flip the Tamio, it's probably better to just develop my board with Ghost Quarter or something. I do have Needle, but if he has a Force, if he flips a Tamio and has a Force, I'm in really big trouble. Okay, so he pays, and he casts a Ponder and flips a Tamio. Now I'm going to be making a second mistake. This one is a clear mistake. The other one was questionable, but this one, and that is I'm going to be playing this Forest that I just top decked. Most of the mistakes a lot of players make actually come from when you just drew a card and you fail to assess how the situation changes from the card you drew. I was going to play the Ghost Quarter initially, but I drew a Forest and I thought, oh great, a Forest. This can't be wastelanded. But as you see, this will be a bad mistake because I had seen his list and he was running one sideboard Submerge. So this will open me up to the Submerge, and I didn't have to do it. And you may think, well, that's not really a mistake. It's early in the game. You don't know if he has a Submerge or not. But no, you have to be very critical about the plays you make. This is a mistake because I really have no need to play this land right now. So I go ahead, I think about it, and I play the Needle. Because while it is not a good use of my mana, I just really need this to resolve right now. So this plays around days, and this plays around him drawing a Force later on. Okay, the Needle resolves. I'm pretty happy about it, and we can keep on going. He plays a DRC, Bubble, and he plays no Ponder or no Quarry Cutter. So this to me is very suspicious. At this point I'm thinking, this is one of the best Delver players in the game, maybe the best. And he has no Wasteland, he didn't seem to have Force of Will, didn't seem to have Daze, no Ponder, no Brainstorm. He must have something, otherwise he wouldn't have kept this hand. So at this point I'm really suspicious that he has a Submerge, even though it's a one-off. I start thinking, okay, I probably need to play around it. Play the Thespian stage. I could have gone for something like Crack the Map for Saga, but with a Tabernacle in play, it's not a great line, and also I would be making myself more vulnerable to Meltdown. So I'm just trying to get my combo online. Okay, he finally draws a Wasteland. Quarry Cutter. So I get a Wasteland of my own. Because, well, my combo now it's not going to happen. He has a Wasteland, and I need to either waste his own Wasteland or try to pressure his mana base for this Tabernacle to do some work. play rumble, I mule alone, and I get this endurance. Now I opt to go for his volcanic island. The reason being, I think it's gonna be too hard to make a merit lage here. He has a wasteland, and I'm playing around submerge at this point, so I might as well just try to slow him down. I have a loam, and I can start picking these lands apart. He doesn't have that much pressure, and the Cory still gets quite menaced by the Tabernacle. Also, doing this might encourage him to go after my Tabernacle, and then my combo is a lot freer. He thinks about it at the end step, and that's what he does. He goes after my Tabernacle. Second Cory Cutter. Plays another land, so I could go for Tabernacle, I could go for Wasteland, but I decide I'm gonna try to put my combo online. Third Cory Cutter. And he triggers the 3 of them. Now this leaves him totally open for the merit lage, but as I said, I mean, he's a really good player. He's not going to do this unless he has a submerge or he's totally desperate. So at this point, I'm not going to go for the merit lage here. I'm pretty sure he has a submerge at this point. So what I do is I play the endurance, and I force him to, well, if you have a force, you're gonna have to lose your submerge, or if you want to submerge this, well, I can go for merit lage next turn. Although at this point, you know, I'm in pretty big trouble because I'm facing a lot of damage. He thinks for a while, and it resolves. I get to eat this DRC. And now on my turn, I also have quite a few options. I could go for Life from the Loam and try to limit his mana with Tabernacle, but I don't think that accomplishes too much. He can pay 3 mana and he can trigger Cory Cutter probably again if he has a submerge, or if he chains cantrips or baubles together. So I didn't really do the math on how much damage I could take, but I just decide, okay, I'm gonna try to make a merit lage. So I play a Ghost Quarter with the plan of wasting my own forest, but I couldn't have done it in my turn because he had 4 lands, and if I just go for a merit lage and he draws another land, he can hardcast the submerge. So I wait for his turn. I hope he doesn't find a wasteland, and I can go for it. On his turn, he draws and plays a Brainstorm, which is pretty bad for me, but at the same time, okay, now he cannot reach 5 mana, and I'm going to respond to this by making the merit lage before he has a chance to draw a wasteland off the Brainstorm. So I do the little trick. I attack my own forest. And well, he realizes what's going on and says, okay, I'll just go for it then. I'll just play my submerge in your endurance. So, you know, he did have a submerge all along. I got my merit lage going, but as you'll see, well, this won't be enough because he will draw plenty of gas from this brainstorm. And he will play plenty of spells, melt down a ponder, and I'm dead. Okay, so game 3. Let's see, I don't remember game 3 very much. I put a sniper because on the play it's much more useful. I have a bigger chance of sniping a DRC. This is my first hand, and might be a keep, might have been a keep, maybe this was a mistake, but I have 2 lands that I'm not very interested in, and I really need this crop rotation to resolve. This hand has no acceleration. It's just generally not a powerful hand. I mean, this deck has so many insane hands where you go Mox and land plus loam and you just start going from there, and this hand is just meh, so I mulligan it. And I get a pretty bad hand. This hand does nothing. It has no acceleration. It needs to find a green source, but it also needs to find the depths, but I cannot even combo even if I find the depths. So just a pretty bad hand. Cannot keep this one, so I go to 5. Think about it a lot, but and this hand is actually the best hand of the 3, but it's a multi 5. Let's see, I keep I bottom Yavimaya and a Thespian stage. I go for exploration. He has no force, or at least is unwilling to use a force. Go rumble. I mill alone. So at this point, this is my game plan. I'm going to try to waste him out of the game. I could pick the Disruptor Flute here, but I think this has more chance of going poorly. And also picking a land here allows me to play Once Upon a Time. So that's what I do. On his end step I go once. And I'm actually trying to find a green source, because if he wastes my Yavimaya, I'm in really big trouble. Unfortunately, no green source here, and no green source in my graveyard. I opt for Tabernacle, which is it's a pretty good land. I loan, and this is probably a mistake, seeing now, because I milled an Echoing Deeps, and I really need to have a backup green source. I should have gotten it for sure. It doesn't matter though, because he counters it with a Force of Will. And now he has a Hertz. Oh, that's a problem. I'm still finding no green sources. I can here opt for a Saga or an Endurance. I opt for the Endurance here because Saga isn't great with Tabernacle really, and I have no artifacts. It's not like it's gonna pick something very useful either. I play it on his upkeep. And he finally has his Wasteland. Gets rid of my Yavimaya very correctly. And from now on, I'm just gonna get buried by really bad top decks and not being able to do anything. Let's see. Yeah, and that's it. As you can see, I'm not drawing anything. And he starts attacking with an 8/8 Hearse. And at this point, I'm just dead. He counters my Mox, and it's GG. So that's it. Pretty nice game, pretty close one. Hope you enjoyed it.